That's all.
All I've been playing is Subnautica and New Vegas.
I got us all, baby. Taylor,
What up?
this looks so good.
I know.
Look at these handsome boys. These handsome boys.
I have to tell you, I feel great.
Do you?
I feel great about this.
You look great.
It's because I'm relaxed, Nick.
I'm really glad you're not in an ICP
For the first
jersey.
time in my... I wish I was in my IPC jersey. I forgot about my IPC jersey.
Nah, it haunts my dreams.
Is that an IPC jersey? No, I think it's Fireball, but just as bad.
Swooping around.
No, I threw out my hungover clothes and I traded them for a lazy man's sweatshirt because I don't have to be in charge of the stream anymore.
Yep.
Well, you're looking at a man relaxed, a man renewed.
Yeah. So for those of you who missed our weekend stream, I have taken on streaming duties just to kind of take a little bit off of Corey's back because he does literally everything else for this project, and I can't draw. So from now on, I'm handling pretty much all of the streaming bits, which is why we've got kind of a little bit of a different setup going on here than usual. I'm also really excited to welcome our good friend, Nicky Bowl of Macaroni, Nick Einsman, onto the stream. Nick, we were talking about this off stream, but like, it is so fucking cool to talk to you again.
It is a pleasure to be here. I'm gonna put on headphones really quick because Corey says he's getting an echo, so give me 2 seconds.
Yeah, by all means.
2 shakes of the lamb's tail.
So, while Nick gets his audio stuff taken care of, I'll just go ahead and let kind of everybody know what we're doing today. So tonight is one of our more interesting streams, which is a low fucking bar to clear. Because instead of talking about tabletop games, we are actually going to be playtesting character and caravan creation. We've been talking about this now for like a month. We're moving into Season of the Witch. We're moving into actual playtest stuff, and to do that, obviously, Corey and I can't do it ourselves because we understand our system too well. So we're dragging all of our friends onto our stream and making them follow us on Twitch, which I imagine will double.
Pump our numbers.
Just gotta pump on those.
Those are rookie numbers. You gotta bump those numbers up.
I've literally never seen the fucking movie.
Really?
Have you really not? It's a great movie.
Yeah, I know. I'm past the point, where it's like, it's like when people are like, you should see Inception. And I was like, probably. And then I did. And
it's 2015.
Exactly. What am I gonna watch Inception now and be like, hey, have you guys heard of this movie? It's a pretty indie flick. Maybe I'll finally see There Will Be Blood.
Well, you haven't seen There Will Be Blood?
What's wrong with you?
Things.
Dog, what is wrong with you?
Country for Old Men, or No Country, whatever that movie is.
I actually haven't seen that.
Neither have I. It's been on my Netflix queue for at least like 2 years.
I've heard it's great.
I hear I'd love it. I scroll by it all the time, and I just never.
But yes, Nick, let me introduce you to our singular fan. Elstragoon is in the stream. Elstragoon is the one person who has actually followed our stream over the whole like year that we've been doing this. He probably knows our game better than we do. So Elstragoon, it's great to have you with us. Let me introduce you to our good friend Nick Einsman.
Hi.
To give everybody a little bit of background, Nick is one of the people that we used to play our private tabletop games with back like a year ago. And it's been too fucking long, man. We need to actually play again.
It has been. And
that's
also,
why
you guys gotta come to Philly because my games are officially back open.
Well, here's the great thing about that is this right now is the season of playtesting. What comes after this is the season of conventions. And what Corey and I found out really quick.
You're coming to PAX?
We're coming to as many things as we can.
Yeah.
If you when you guys come to Philly, PAX Unplugged.
Yeah.
We just did a test there, or John and I just did a test there. I want to say a month ago.
Yeah.
And it's everything about it is sick. Gen Con is also fantastic. We did a lot of our escape room shit there as well. Or
hell yeah,
escape the box stuff.
Hell yeah, love that. But yeah, so you will hopefully at least get your fucking wish like sooner rather than later. As soon as we have this sort of alpha quick start thing ready to go, we are hoping to get onto the convention trail and get this whole horrible mess into people's faces. I'm not quitting my job, to be clear. That is not, I'm not doing that.
Don't worry, I did it for you. I sent you your letter of resignation. I took care of everything.
I ripped that I ripped it up. Don't worry. You're good, Taylor.
Thank you, God.
I came down south in the middle of the night and ripped it.
I literally got gainfully employed like 4 months ago. Like, please don't take this away from me right now. I can't go back to call centers.
Hey, don't worry, I solved everything.
Time.
Sorry. We gotta get going. So what we're doing today is we are going through character creation. Nick, I know you have access to the documents. Have you by chance had the opportunity to read this?
I literally just sent them to him.
Yeah, I got them at 6:55, so I'm skimming through them as I am on the stream.
Okay, cool.
How's that?
Well then, here is, I think, a good way for us to start. For people who are totally unaccustomed to the game itself. If you go all the way to the top here, you'll see a section titled The World of Eva, right at the top. This is just kind of a narrative introduction that Corey wrote that I love, and it's kind of the front of our game. Can you read that for us?
Are you asking me to read it?
I am. I'm asking Nick to read that.
All right. Consumed by every division and calamity, I butchered that first word, it's fine. Where the once glittering court stood resolute, lording over the collapsing system below, now a wilderness and quick reef have taken root, subsuming off the edifices of the past. I don't have my glasses on and I broke them, I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm so sorry, buddy.
If Taylor put pressure on you, I can do it.
I was gonna say,
I'm gonna make it bigger.
Okay, that's fine.
And while for many in the umten valleys of Eva, uncertainty is the rule there. Is the rule there, and are those that do not confine themselves to emergent structures of the post collapsed. There and those who have looked up to the dangers beyond in the secure cities of the Wall of Ishtas, Arad, and Vigil, and found a glint of importance. Bold peddlers. Thank you. Miscreants, vagrants, and degenerates, all favored by the fortune they are so bold to go out and take. Some say they provide our new landscape with the resources it so desperately needs to continue its growth into the unknown. Still, others see them as only thieves and profiteers, willing to leave behind a blight and ruin in their wake for the promise of a simple, petty coin. The truth, as in all things, is found in the shades of gray. Because when the stars shattered and the first machines pulled themselves up from the sunken places of Eva, two things made themselves abundantly clear. Fortune favors the bold, and nobody makes a lad alone. Keep your eyes to the golden road, peddler. We've got contracts to keep.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, for those of you watching the stream, if you like the background music that you're hearing, that's because I wrote it. This is Fractured Fortunes Volume 1. We have been pitching it for a little while. It's available for free on DriveThruRPG. I found a way to put it into the background of all of our streams. So get ready to deal with this shit for the next like 3 hours. For the people on the Discord call, don't worry, you don't have to hear it.
Yeah, I was gonna say this is garbage.
Fuck. Gross. This is my audio thing. That is correct.
What he does.
No, we released an audio product on
Yeah.
Drive Through RPG.
Yeah. So Nick, you So for the campaign after you left, as soon as Nick left, I was like, well, now I got to start putting energy into this.
I'm sorry, neither of my wild card characters were good enough for your creative genius.
Actually, it was one wild card character.
No, it was
Really?
it was.
Was Duncan, Idaho the problem?
Oh, I see.
That was the issue.
I thought you were talking about your two characters in Taylor's game, which I was like, technically
Oh.
that was one guy.
It was technically one, but yeah. that's a whole
Thank you.
story. No, so after when we started L5R, I was like doing that whole thing where I was like looking for like music and stuff to put in, and eventually I was just like, fuck it, I'll make my own. So I made I'm making an OST for the campaign that I'm doing called Fractured Fortunes.
That's sick.
Nick, it's the most extra thing in the world. Taylor's making theme songs for all the characters, and he was like, I sent our friend their theme song. I hope they like it. And I had to stop him, and he was getting all windy around his head. It's like, Taylor, you're making OST for your tabletop game. It's fine.
See, everyone thought I was crazy for like making Spotify playlists for like my games.
Yeah.
No, dog.
So
Yeah.
I'm glad I'm not.
No.
I'm huge.
I'm several levels of crazy past that.
So let's say the world of Eba and Vault Peddlers supposes to be a game of the post collapse.
Right.
Things have collapsed. Things have settled. The people who survived that and rebuilt a society have passed, and now this is where we are. There's 3 major cities on this continent, on Eba, and that's sort of where we are. There's a lot of wildness around. Everything is a miasma of star shatter and machine and living things. Everything is all of these things all at once. It is a rust punk psychopath's journey into the post collapse. It is built on the fabric of environmental destruction and late stage capitalism.
Yeah, ultra capitalism.
So Philadelphia.
Try to imagine. Try to put yourself in this imaginary world if you think it's possible.
I live in Philly.
Yeah. But it is a game of plasma welters, rust belters, and all manner of bad people.
And it's also a world of many different forms of life. After this huge collapse happened, as people were trying to rebuild this world, aliens fucking visited. They like started colonizing the planet, and contrary to the whole like, oh, we have to beat the aliens to like save the planet, this isn't that kind of game. Instead, what happened was like the survivors like bonded with them, and so like you have all of this new life that's emerged on the planet as a result. And that's not
pretty cool.
Yeah, and that's not just like the aliens themselves, but the like cosmic energy that they brought like breathed life into like the plant life, into like the insect life, into even just the garbage, the waste of this old world became sentient and forming like civilizations in and of itself. So this is definitely a game where there's lots of like crazy species options to like play with.
That's really cool. I like that a lot.
Aliens fucking visited in the rule book.
100%. I have no stake in this game, but it's got to go in.
It's got to go in.
I'll talk to the guy.
Yeah.
So
I don't want to brag, but I know the creators.
yeah, I know the guy is doing the layout. I'll talk to him.
Believe me,
about
dog,
putting it in.
it's not a brag.
I think they're pretty cool people, but all right. I'm gonna cry.
All right,
Okay.
so
We're gonna start with character creation.
yeah. So that is this guy here.
Character creation's I think it's pretty straightforward. Nick, if you open up the character sheet, at the bottom you'll see a tab for Nick. Taylor, you'll see one for Taylor.
Yep.
Got it.
So most of these drop downs will autofill things, except for the feats on the bottom will autofill the source. That's my bad. I apologize. They will next time. I have
Amateur hour.
Never coming back.
I have spent a long hour looking at. I learned a lot about Google Sheets.
Oh, I'm sure you did, Bill.
That being said, what you need to do now is.
So there's actually, right below the world of Eva, the next section is character creation, and that gives you kind of the basic breakdown of how this is going to work. So in this game, there are basically 4 filters to creating your character. There's choosing a species, which is basically what kind of creature are you. There's choosing a province. Province is kind of analogous to, like in D&D, you're familiar with classes like rogue, bard, whatever. Province is basically your job in a vault peddler crew. These are people who are like going into dangerous places, retrieving old artifacts from like the edifice of this lost world, or doing other jobs. And so like there are going to be different provinces and different roles in that caravan. Corey, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I think of them more as archetypes than classes. They're not as clearly defined as that. They're a direction in which you could pick feats, and it sort of advises the job. And
then after you get through provinces, you're going to choose a history. There's a lot of different backgrounds that like your character can come through. For each of these things, you're going to basically be choosing a feat that goes onto your character sheet. Those are the first 3 filters. Like, it'll probably take a little bit longer for you because you got to read through a bunch of it. But that's probably the quickest part. After that, it's basically a simple point buy system to get skills and attributes. And yeah, we'll get to that, I think, when we get there. But for now, let's focus on species. So Corey, what do you think is the most efficient way to do this so that we're not just all sitting here quietly on stream?
I'll let Nick look over, and me and Taylor can kind of talk about the species while that goes on.
Yeah.
Right? This is a good.
I'm reading through it now, so.
Okay, cool.
I even have like some art. I think I can like share my screen and show off some.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Some concept. I don't have all of them, and some of it's just gesture. So like,
we can certainly try. Yeah, go for it.
I think I could just share screen on. I think it will cover me up.
We'll find out.
Yeah.
Tune in after this cover up.
Yeah.
Oh nope.
Nah, dog.
You screwed up.
Sorry, Taylor.
Oh, that. What just happened? What even is that?
I don't know.
Oh, I know what it is. It's because, okay. No, I got it. I understand what's going on. I don't know how to fix it, but...
Did I mess? I could get rid of it.
Well, can you actually show stuff? I'm not seeing anything on it.
Yeah, I mean, I see it.
I see it. You're streaming, right, Taylor? Like to
Twitch?
Oh,
hang on. Here it is. Okay. Yeah, see, this is what I was concerned with. Okay. Give me a sec. No, it's fine.
I threw this at Taylor last minute.
I like the toddlers. They look like big daddies.
Yeah, except they little guys.
Well, they little daddies, little poppies.
They definitely have a lot of big daddy energy. I try to, like, as I was doing it, I was like, man, BioShock doesn't own diving helmets.
Sorry, Elstragoon is roasting us on Twitch.
Oh, I want to see what it looks like. Oh, nice.
Fantastic.
This is very cool, Taylor. I like your Eldritch horror.
Yeah, this is exactly what the people. This is the quality content that people watch Terramundi stream to get.
I tell you what I can do, Taylor. I can just throw them in chat, and you can just throw a display capture of them up.
Oh yeah, I could do that actually. That would be great. Yeah.
Stop streaming.
Stop streaming. Close stream. Well, okay, and that automatically resets us. What's up? Hell yeah.
What's up? I fixed everything.
I'm here.
Okay.
So I definitely don't think I'm gonna be a polluter.
A polyutar.
Polyutar.
You don't want to be. You don't want to be a shitty trash man.
I literally don't want to be a pile of trash.
Well, that's rude. I like the trash man.
I don't know. It's not my thing. I'm sorry.
Not your style. Well,
not my style.
What? You know what, Nick? Lucky for you, we have a lot of other options.
I'm going through them. Ooh, that's cool.
And then...
Oh, it's like Swamp Thing. Woo!
This stupid thing won't let me download any of your awesome art.
I think you gotta download.
I can't download. It gives me the option to save, but it says I can't save preview.
Copy. I don't know.
Oh, I was so proud of my stream, my beautiful stream.
I threw a curveball at you. Anyways, let me talk about these. Souther's gonna love being a pilot. Yeah, I'm gonna drop. Honestly, Elstragon, they're a regal pile of trash.
They are. They're a proud pile.
Actually, I'm very excited to draw them because, I've started to get an idea, concept. Because I was talking to Taylor, so let me read the Polyutar intro. The arrival of star shatter energy had a unique effect on the bioorganisms lingering the masses of trash and garbage left behind. Sentient beings formed of refuse quickly emerged primitive societies that evolved into principalities and regencies. The Polyutar in modern day are widely known as proud people who are quick to take issue with pointing out their origin. In turn, they are known to tease humans for their slow rate of evolution. So, I was talking to Taylor about this. My idea of Polyutar, and I realized I had never communicated this with him, I'd just been running it in my head, was that, the Polyutar are a lot more aquatic. And he was like, why? And I said, well, because garbage goes to the ocean.
Well... He's not wrong.
Yeah, it's unfortunately very correct. So I don't know. I'm thinking the edifices of machines and refuse, like a man with a big bow of a Thai longboat as one of his arms and a giant hermit shell crab on his back standing proud with a goddamn plasma rifle. That's the kind of game I want.
Releases lost me.
That's what we were trying to evoke. Oh, big crab claw would be good. I gotta put that on there. So yeah, that's the Polyutar. And while Taylor messes with this, so the Emberphytes are like the Polyutar. Emberphytes owe their sudden evolution from existing plant life to the arrival of star shatter. Unlike the Polyutar, Emberphytes saw little point in forming advanced societies. Instead, they remain in their home forests, rarely straying from their borders. They exist in smaller lineages of relatives, engaging in what most other species would call barbarism. This is especially true to the poor souls unlucky enough to enter their neck of the woods. There are, however, some Emberphyte who venture beyond the edges of their home forests. Those who do aren't always looked upon kindly by strangers, but No one's going to tell that to their face. Emberfights are like plant people who are violent.
Would you say that they're like an unhinged swamp thing?
Yeah, for sure. I think they like. Yeah, I actually think Swamp Thing's probably a good example of it because Swamp Thing doesn't venture. I mean, like.
For the most part, he's like with his green. Like he stays with the same.
He's
like,
green. I would love, and Nick, we could talk Swamp Thing sometime for sure.
I'm rereading like the original runs. I'm loving it.
I have the Alan Moore ones kicking around somewhere. Yeah, they're great. I like the Alan Moore run of Swamp Thing.
I think they're fucking great.
Yeah.
So, for those watching the stream, I finally got the art up. Here you go.
Nice.
This is the Ember Fight.
Yeah, so
I like that.
Yeah, that's. I mean, it's a very loose concept. I was just doing some gesture and like, yeah. I don't know. I kind of dig him. He's based on a death flower. That's what his head is, pretty much. So yeah, that's yeah. Weeping Bell. It looks like you haven't been finished in the kiln, Weeping Bell.
I've been like reading through them. I think I'm gonna go with the Ember Fights. I actually really like that idea. I think it's pretty cool.
And before we move on from that, though, I need to show this one off. This was like this was like the first thing that Corey showed me in terms of art for Vault Peddlers. And it was like the first moment where like this idea of like a post collapse world and like a creature that would exist in it really clicked. And I was like, fuck. Tunnelers are so goddamn cool.
Yeah, I like the tunnelers.
Absolutely adore these.
They're badass. I do like them a lot.
They're just little guys.
They're like the Goombas from not the Goombas, mushroom heads from like Mario, but with like a diver helmet. I like them. They just a little waddle.
Yeah.
Let me do so tunnelers. No one is really sure where the tunnelers come from. Some say they're actually old tech themselves. Others say they are akin to the Palutar, machines given sentience by alien energy. Whatever the actual cause, the tunnelers exist as hive mind creatures living in subterranean cities. These societies are almost always very closed off to outsiders. However, the occasional tunneler can become unplugged. When that happens, they often rise to the surface, eager to explore the new world with as much vigor as they did the underground. So yeah, they're excitable little scamps.
They're very good boys.
I was actually working on a concept for builders today, which is, you can't really see.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, man, like some sort of gecko dog with a big cannon.
Yeah, Corey's art has been like off the fucking charts lately. I've been super excited about like the stuff that he's been developing.
Thank you. Els Dragoon just said they're those hard hat dudes from Mega Man.
Holy shit.
Yeah, you're so right.
Hell yes. Love it.
Love it.
All right. Sorry, go ahead.
Can you throw up the Arache one? Because I'm actually pretty into this one,
I can.
I like how your voice just got higher as you said that.
No big deal.
Well, first I found out that Clip Studio doesn't like to merge vector layers together when you've erased something, which you'll notice, because I tried to merge these wings onto here after I was like all up in arms. But whatever. So this is like kind of the concept I had for. I've been doing like a lot of. I spent all last weekend researching cockroaches, and drawing cockroaches, and this is sort of the concept I came up for, like what the Arache head looks like. Which is yeah, their heads got wings on them.
Yeah, love it.
Yep.
I don't like bugs.
So, Nick is going to pick a...
Provides.
All right, so Ember Fight, what you're going to want to do is go to the species section.
Yep.
Under your name. All right, cool. Yo, you don't even need to write it.
Oh, that's right. Shit, sorry.
Yep. Drop downs, baby.
Look at that, look at that, look at that. Hey.
And now you're just gonna go underneath, look under the feats for Amber Fight and pick one you like.
Yeah, which of these feats do you think you're interested in?
See, I was thinking photosynthesis, but like given the current state of like where the world is and environment, doesn't it kind of make sense? I mean, I could be completely wrong here, but I imagine there's not too much direct sunlight.
So it's remember that it's post collapse.
Oh, it's post. That's right. Okay.
Right. So this is like your great grandfathers experienced the end of the world, and like you're living in like people building cities and like recovering from all that. So I would say there's still going to be a normal amount of sunlight. Photosynthesis would definitely still apply. The thing that I think would affect it is lots of Vault Peddler contracts are diving into ruins and going underground. Yeah. So it might be limited use case in that regard, but in terms of actually being outside, no, definitely.
Yeah, well, I think that kind of pushes me. I think I'm going to go towards I think naturally armored might be
hell yeah
the way I want to go then. Just because if we have like a lot of contracts that are in ruins, I think I'd rather play it safe and like make sure I'm actually,
hell yeah.
All you got to do there is select naturally armored under name, and it will populate the text for you.
Under name?
Under the species feat, at the bottom left-hand side in purple, you'll see feat species.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then under name, just hit naturally,
okay, cool.
and it will populate that text for you.
Wow.
Yeah,
Corey's been working on this very, very hard.
I couldn't tell.
So naturally armored. Yeah, read it, baby. I'll tell you. And Nick, if you have any questions about terminology, you will, because you're not familiar with a lot of this terminology. Ask us and we'll explain it.
Yeah, do let us know.
Yeah.
Okay, on character creation, select this feat to sacrifice X amount of movement for X amount of armor. So I'm assuming that means if I have, a movement of 8, I can sacrifice 3 and get 3 additional armor.
Yep.
Correct.
All right, cool.
Yeah, okay, cool. Taylor, do you know what species you're going to pick?
No, I've been like stressing behind the camera here, getting all of our video feeds back up and running because I accidentally closed out Discord and I had to redo all of it. So you go ahead and tell us what you're doing, Corey, and I will be right behind you.
Okay, cool.
You don't know either, do you?
Taylor, I know all about our game. I've been looking at it for a long time, and I understand. You know what? I'm gonna choose Tunneler because they're my baby boys.
Right.
While he's stalling, because I could tell that's he didn't know what he wanted to choose for a character, just out of years of friendship with Corey. I did. You guys remember Street Sharks?
Yes.
So I did buy a Street Shark and I named it Corey Davis.
My heart.
You're welcome.
Do you guys remember Extreme Dinosaurs?
Yeah.
No.
Oh man, Nick, after this, check out the theme song for Extreme Dinosaurs. It rules.
You guys remember Beetleborgs?
Yeah, Big Bad Beetleborgs.
Yeah.
Big Bad Beetleborg. Yeah. That wasn't how the song
I don't have a follow-up. It was just, I like that show.
So I'm going to choose Vast Knowledge as my feat for my Tunneler. Because I want to choose something. I usually go very mechanically heavy, and instead I'm going to go something a little flavorful. Vast Knowledge. You tap into your hive mind memories once per session, and the Archivist will give you something useful.
Sick. All right, cool. And I have decided I'm going to be a bug man. I'm going to be an Arache, baby. Big old cockroach.
That's what my ex calls me.
Fair.
Rude.
It's my life.
Taylor, read the Arache.
The arrival of Star Shatter energy dramatically transformed Eba. For the insect creatures living on the planet, this resulted in a drastic growth in size and intellectual capability. Unlike every other new native species, however, the Arishay didn't form any societies of their own. Instead, they quickly melded with the existing societies around them. Therefore, it's not uncommon to see them at any settlement or city, regardless of size, but their metal coating often makes them prime candidates for jobs requiring a tough skin. That being said, that's not my boy. He is used to the finer things, and I'm going to give him flight. Once per session, move vertically as if you were moving across a flat, horizontal plane.
Neat. I don't know how to mechanize this in the game, but it is definitely something I like playing with in games, is the idea of verticality. Because, I don't know, like, TTRPGs often fall into horizontal planes, right? And maybe that's just the nature of, like, a flat map for a game.
Hashtag bring back vertical art TTRPGs.
Yeah.
No, I get that though. Like I think it's like a common feat though. Like I've seen that in other games for sure.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, like, flight exists. It's
okay, so now we are on to choosing provinces. Nick, by chance, have you had an opportunity to look through these?
So the only question that I have,
Yes.
I like the croaker idea. My only question, based off of my race or my species, would it really make sense for someone that's used to, like, isolation to be in that province?
Corey, do you want to take this, or? Oh, Corey?
He's looking up majestically into the future.
That he is. Oh no. Okay, well, tell you what, while Corey gets his...
I'm here. I can see all of you. I can see you all the whole time.
I just got you. Yeah, I just got you back, but you froze for a minute.
Oh, yeah, I mean, I heard you all saying that, and I was like, no, I'm here.
Okay.
So yeah, like, to address that, like, your species, like, definition, first off, doesn't define who your character is. You define who your character is, and a part of that is going to be choosing your history. Beyond that, like, just because they're from a solitary place doesn't mean that they don't deal at least with, like, other embryophytes, right? They have groves that they function as little societies with. This is a game that is about community.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in other words, the descriptions for the species, they're for the species at large. Your particular individual in that society is not necessarily, it doesn't necessarily reflect those values. So, like,
Okay, cool.
You could totally be a croaker.
Cool. The only reason I asked is, I know obviously with other games or certain games, you know, you can only choose certain things based off of your, you know, species or race or whatever.
Right.
But I'm very torn between the croaker and then honestly a rope walker. I think the rope walker, like, seems really rad. Like, they just seem like, you know, the underdog badass.
Why don't you read us both of them, and then...
Certainly. Doctor, they'll stitch you up. But they're there when you croak. The croaker may be the most important member of your Vault Peddler crew, because the croaker keeps all other members alive. Experience in the field varies. Some are trained physicians. Others are from relative disciplines like veterinary medicines, and others are just some folks who have had some time to learn medicine the hard way. In any case, the benefits of your croaker brings to the table make them a valuable addition to your caravan. Do you want me to read through the different...
No.
Okay, cool. And then rope walker. Thief, they'll get you what you need, but they might take
get
what
you mead.
Yeah, they might get you mead.
If they're a good thief, right?
Yeah.
Speaking of Taylor, I have mead for you. By the way. Yeah.
Yes. Yes, thank you.
Finally finished it.
Hell yeah. Anyways, go on.
Vaults are no joke. They have They have high-tech security measures, crumbling infrastructure, and occasionally even living people in there who are none too happy about intruders coming into their homes. That's where your rope walker comes in. Their responsibility is getting into different places, retrieving difficult-to-obtain MacGuffins, and dealing with that unwanted company. If you are looking for someone to actually do business of the vault peddling, look no further. You know what? I kind of want to be a rope walker.
Hell yeah.
Baby.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah.
All right. Have you read through those feats, or do you want a second to do that?
So my question here is how many feats
One.
am I allowed to take? Just one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, if you don't mind just letting me reread it really quick.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Corey,
Thank you.
while he's reading, do you have a pick for your province?
Hell yeah, dude.
What you doing?
I'm gonna play as a croaker.
All right, cool. So we've already heard the description of that. Do you know
Yeah.
what feat you're going with?
Oh, you'd love that, wouldn't you?
I would.
So I'm gonna choose the Lazarus Tap.
Yeah,
contact-
my baby.
Yeah, this is a really cool one. And this gets us into a larger discussion, which is the contact with the Star Shatter waves have given you a unique power transfer, and the energies of living things into dead ones, restoring life at great expense. Once per contract, sacrifice 3 dice of the highest type in your pool to increase a target's health from 0 to 5. In addition, reduce your movement by half for the remainder of the contract. If there are less than 3 die in the pool, this technique cannot be used. So, Vault Peddlers is a game that doesn't have a lot of resources for restoring health. In the downtime phase, there are jobs that you can pick up that can help restore health, and I imagine we'll have some mechanic for natural healing, but I imagine it will be very slow. This is an important one, I think. I'm choosing that.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, cool. And I want to go. I'm choosing between Pharaoh Weaver or Reckoner. While I make that decision, I'll go ahead and I'll read these real quick. So, Pharaoh, the quartermaster. They tell you how much food you get every day, but they also tell you how much food you get every day. Caravans vary in size. Some are small, others are quite large. Especially in the latter case, you want to make sure that someone is there to mediate disputes, manage resources, and coordinate chief provinces in the caravan. All 3 responsibilities fall to the Pharaoh, the de facto master of the caravan grounds. Although leadership falls to the shepherd while on a contract, authority between them belongs to the Pharaoh. So as a heads up for the people who have watched this stream prior, by that I mean Elstragoon, we had got rid of a couple of provinces on Saturday. We got rid of the Mother. We saw a lot of overlap there between Mother and Pharaoh. We did a similar deal with the Dealer and the Spoiler, who is now just the Spoiler. So that's Pharaoh. The other is the Reckoner, which I always enjoy magic users. I always get a lot of utility out of them. These are the magicians. They see through the weave, but sometimes the weave sees back. Sand in the Gears doesn't quite describe the level of complication in the arrival of Star Shatter inflicted on Eba. In addition to dealing with old tech systems, shady negotiators, and natural dangers, Vault Peddlers also face arcane threats while on the job. This can come in the form of corrupted old tech, the influence of New World deities, or even just other awoken Vault Peddlers. Whatever the threat, it is the responsibility of the Weaver to identify these threats and take them out before they become too serious. And then finally, the Reckoner. Brawler. Run. Just run. Some folks are smart, some folks talk good, some folks have magic, and some folks have people skills, but you hit stuff very, very, very well. Reckoners are a common sight on Vault Peddler away teams, although their services are often considered a last resort. When shit hits the fan, the Shepherd defends, and the Reckoner attacks. We actually need to adjust that because the Shepherd is now the Pharaoh. I think what I'm going to go with here is I'm going to go with Pharaoh.
Yeah.
And I think I'm going to go with Watchful Eye.
What will I do?
You've learned how to survive on very little sleep as you keep watch over your flock. When taking watch, you may choose to re-roll for a better result at the cost of 1d4 worth HP.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, that seems like, now that Nick's not here, we should maybe 1d4 worth of HP. Is that resistible damage?
I mean, so the idea is that you're wearing your health down by staying awake, right? That's
Sure.
the idea. Can you resist that?
I mean, we have damage set up so it is a resist roll. So I don't know. Like, I think if not, we gotta specify. It seems incredibly harsh if it's not. I would say resistible.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you.
Yeah.
Oh, shoot. Hey, dude.
Yeah.
For the character sheet under province feats,
Yeah.
you've still got Mother, Dealer.
Oh, I could take those out. I mean, just pick the. So that source doesn't fill on the feats anyways. So don't worry about
okay.
it. Yeah.
Okay, cool. I just wanted to make sure. I was worried that I was gonna.
You know, it's cool.
Yeah.
That's the one thing I didn't do. So it's fine.
No, you're good. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna go with Gravitas.
Yeah, Gravitas is a cool one.
Yeah, you're an experienced leader that commands, not demands, respect from those under you. That being said, caravan morale only goes so far. When commanding a subordinate, you may reroll Parley and Interrogation when giving orders at the expense of a caravan resource from the caravan die pool.
Yep.
I think that actually is a better...
So, and this is something that we were like starting to get into last night, where someone was like, "Well, should we be like planning out our party since this is like a game about base building and stuff?" And I was like, "That's definitely something you could do. This game's like built up and designed for that sort of thing."
Right.
So, and like, this is a game that's supposed to facilitate table talk. I don't think we should discourage that. I don't know. It was an interesting thought that came up last night during a playtest. Cool. So next, Nick, did you pick a feat?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, so I think I'm gonna do Piercing Dagger. Although you might not wield the strongest weapons, your precision with small weapons allows you to easily find the weakness in your opponent's armor. At the start of combat, one target or selection must take a DTV 13 check. If they fail, they reduce their armor nodes by 2 for the remainder of the conflict. I think that really would go pretty well with, being able to actually add additional armor. Yeah, so I'm gonna do that.
Yeah, I love that idea.
So really quick, I got my province in. Where do I add the feet?
So at the bottom,
the feet of the province is on the right-hand side. Yeah. Sorry,
what?
So do you see at the bottom where you put in the specie feat?
No. Yes.
Where you put in naturally armored, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
I
right
got
next to it.
now.
There you go.
Thank
You got it.
thank you.
Okay, cool.
Cool.
well, it's
All
actually
right.
the one all the way on the right. It's the one all the way on the right that has.
No,
the
he's
provinces.
got it. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, cool.
All right. Next, we are choosing history. Now, there are a fuck ton of these, dude.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've gotten the chance to
I
look
didn't
into
get that
these.
far yet.
Okay, cool. That's fine. Corey and I will go first and give you a minute to read. So, Corey, I have been thinking about this a lot. Like, we have so many sick things. I think I'm gonna be an I. I'm gonna go with authority. Yeah, I'm gonna go with authority. I'm gonna go with operative. So through back channels, back alleys, the pockets of the unknowing and operative can change the course of kingdoms, enterprises, and all those connected in the webbing between. The best bit? They won't even know it happened. Operatives make the appearance of moving in the shadow, but often their work takes place right in the open. You just didn't know what they really were. And I am going with the Eyes of Ishtas, which goes back to like Corey and I making like a world map or a general world map, like way back in like it was like the second month or whatever of our doing these streams, we came up with this group of people. I'll read the feed first, actually. So, Eyes of Ishtas, you've done your homework. For more than just this encounter, your whole life has been sinking in the shadows, eyeing potential and taking what you can for the greater good of Ishtas. Once per session, when making an attempt to subdue but not kill a target, should they succeed on their resistance, they have to re-roll and take the lower of the two results. I think that this skill mechanically lends itself really well to a Pharaoh thing, mediating disputes if shit gets really bad with like an NPC. Being able to subdue but not kill a little bit easier is going to really lend itself to those responsibilities. And it's also like one of the most disturbing things that Corey and I have ever made, because we made a whole city where children are basically groomed and kidnapped to become agricultural scientists in this like desert city that prizes like technology and technological skill more than anything else. The Eyes of Ishtas are the people doing that. So yeah, that's going to be my guy.
Ishtas, and this is like, so this is a game of now what did I put on this? Community mercantil, like the subtitle of our game is a game of community mercantilism and bad people. And that's like the idea is that like a vault peddler crew, you're bad people. No one likes a vault peddler crew. And you came from bad people generally, but you have each other, and that's what matters.
Right.
And like, so like when I think of Ishtas, it is a city, and like it is in the desert surrounded by canyons. It's like on these like floating geodesic platforms. It is like quite literally a glittering jewel, like in the rest of the world's garbage. It's very closed off, and they have these people who are the Eyes of Ishtas, which are essentially secret police. Like they have the tattoo of the Eye of Ishtas on their hands, and then they abscond with people for ecological projects because that's what matters in the world. So Taylor gets to be a former Eye of Ishtas.
Former.
So I'm gonna choose one that is also a little lore-y. I am going to choose, I think this is under Cursed, or no. Yeah, it's under Cursed. I'm going to choose the Awoken.
Oh, all right.
So the halls of Augustus is blessed. The Awoken are people out of time, proteges of machines of immense power in a time forgotten. There is no tell when an Awoken is from. Their memories tend to skip, jump, and sizzle with the machinations of time. An unearthly glow surrounds those who find themselves out of time. Some say they are protected by the gods themselves, which the gods are very real in our world and not necessarily gods.
Sounds familiar.
Oh, thank you, dear. Who are you?
Hey.
I'm going to choose Spiritual Armor, which is mystical protection and encircles you, warding off spiritual harm. Anytime you take magical damage, roll a d4 -1, which you may use as additional armor nodes for this attack only. Very cool. So the Awoken, it's this like program of people being put to sleep for like generations at a time by machines run by this guy named Augustus, who is a remnant of the very old world. Why he's doing it, no one really knows, but the Awoken are all lost in time. My idea here, go on.
So the deep state?
I'm going to jail right now. My idea here is that when my character became unplugged, he spent a lot of time just moving through the upper mantle of Eba, wayward, and came upon one of these cells and just started helping out there and learning from people and waking them up. And that's why he's a croaker, and that's why he's an Awoken. He spent time asleep in these pods and with people, and yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's him.
All right.
So I picked mine.
Oh, hell
Nice.
They're gonna be a depth hunter.
yeah.
Under the
Yeah.
Nautilus. And then I went with.
Oh wait, before you
wanna
give
read
us
it?
read the Depth Hunter. These guys are amazing.
Be it the riders of the Iron Serpent in Orid, or drivers of the maligned and the poisonous depths of the shore, Death Hunters have one commonality: they hunt monsters, and they are damned good at it too. With a few good men and the pitiful wooden stakes, I've seen beings half my size capsize titans.
Yeah.
Yeah, baby.
And I went with a voracious pursuit. You can smell blood in the water. You know when they start to wane, and you know just when to strike. When an enemy combatant is in an escape intent, and you're on the offensive intent, combat actions then pursue direct harm to gain an additional D4. I think that's really cool. I think it makes sense with like him being able, or them being very close quarters.
Yeah, absolutely. It also is very cool because the next playtest that Corey and I have to do is a combat playtest. So we might have to have your guy back on here
Yeah, let me
to,
tell
to get that done. No, that's tight. No, so the Depth Hunters are like, they're another one of the very lore heavy things that we came up with, which was it's like Orid is like this city that like has like a church of the metal serpent. And the whole area around it is this bay that is occupied, like infested with these like giant metal serpents in the water that like they're infected by like this quick reef that caused the initial collapse in the first place. And Depth Hunters go out and fucking hunt these things.
That's fucking sick.
It's tight as hell. Like I love Depth Hunter. I was actually thinking about doing it myself. So I'm really happy that they came up here. Okay. So that is the end of the easy part of,
Right.
of character
Oh, man.
creation.
I actually think the next part's very easy. So
It kind of is. I just don't like math. All right. So, we
Oh, wait,
are.
there's math? Oh, fuck. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
sorry.
Guys. I gotta leave.
Sorry, dog. So yeah, if you go down to purchase skills, it's right underneath the histories in Caravan 1E. It's gonna walk you. It's gonna walk you through it basically. So you're gonna start with 120 points. All of your attributes or approaches. I'm gonna actually change that in the doc now.
I'll change you in the dock.
Please don't. Attributes or approaches start at 1. You need to improve these according to how you want to do stuff. So the way that our game works is to do something, you would have a particular skill related to it. So for example, if you're going into combat or something to that effect, that's going to definitely be like a brutality skill, right? And then how you want to do that is up to you. So if I'm hitting somebody just as hard as I fucking can, and it doesn't matter, like I'm not concerned with my own well-being, I just want to hit them as hard as I can, that's a ferocity approach to like hitting somebody.
Okay.
Or if I'm saying like, I'm trying to be clever about it, I'm trying to work with their movement, I'm trying to use their weight against them, that's like an adaptation approach to like hitting somebody, right? Or if I'm like concealing a dagger, right? And I'm trying to like feign with one hand while I stab with the other, that's like an obfuscation approach to doing that skill. So that's the difference between like approaches and skills. In addition, you'll also be spending points for the skills themselves. Now, all of your skills start with a D4 to roll.
and you start with the rank in 1 and everything for approaches as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so, then you're just going to spend points to determine basically how high you want to bring all these things to.
So
I just want to make sure that I'm thinking of this right.
Yeah.
Would it be a fair assumption to think of this as like your skills and whatnot and like Fallout, where I have a certain amount and I can put them into each approach, or do I have to just go?
you have 120 points for everything.
Split between approaches and skills.
And skills, and this is the cost of things.
Okay.
Ranks 1 through 5 in approaches are 4 points per rank, and then the 6 through 10 are 8 points per rank. And then for skill die, you started a D4 and everything. To go up to the next level, it is 2 times the next die level. So if you're going from a D4 to a D6, it's 12 points. If you're going up from a D6 to a D8, it's 16 points. From there, if you're going up to a D10 or a D12, it's 4 times the next die level. So it is 40 points for a D10 and 48 points for a D12. And you have 120 points to spend. That being said, another thing to bear in mind, approaches, so skills are arguably the more important thing, right? Because they do the actual task of doing things. Approaches are just how you do them with a flat modifier. However, approaches also are how your derived statistics are evaluated. So,
It's where your health, armor, and movement comes from, is how high your approaches are.
So your health is your adaptation score plus your ferocity score plus half of your nebulized score. Your armor nodes are your clockwork score plus your clockwork plus your logic plus half of your nebulae. And then your movement nodes are your obfuscation plus your ballistics plus half of your nebulae. So, something to bear in mind. If you want like high derived statistics, you're going to want to favor approaches. If you want to be
Corey, real quick, can you give me those again? I'm actually going to color coordinate those to make them a little bit easier on the chart.
Sure. Yeah. Your health nodes are your ferocity plus your adaptation plus half your nebulae.
Okay.
So I'm starting to add things together, or choosing things out.
Well, so the D6s aren't a multiple of 4, and the D10s aren't a multiple of 4. This is how it worked out, where like you could spend all your points with 120. I don't know how we ended up at 120 and the divisions of 4. It is probably the case that we could map it out better and bring things down, Els Dragoon. But for right now, this was the balancing act that we found that worked.
So I'm doing my approaches now.
Yeah.
I like the idea of them having a higher adaptation. I think that given the Depth Runner,
Depth Hunter, yeah.
The Death Hunter, sorry.
That's right.
I think that they should be able to adapt to pretty much anything.
Sure.
So with that in mind, do I rank that at a 10? I'm just trying to follow along.
10 is extreme, is what I would tell you. Like once you get, so you have to buy things in order. You can't like just go up to like rank 6 and spend 8 points. You have to spend each level. So 10 is a very heavy investment. You can definitely do it. It's just it will leave you very specific, right?
Okay. So in that case, I'm gonna assume that like a 4 is a good entry point, right? Or 5?
Yeah. I'd say 4 is a very good entry point. 5 is like you are more experienced than even most like even most adventurers.
Okay.
Yeah. A good question that. Taylor. Sorry.
Yo.
Clockwork plus your logic plus half of your nebulae make your armor nodes. And then your movement nodes are obfuscation plus holistics plus half of your nebulae.
Yeah, no, I've got it here. We're
Okay, cool. Well, no, Elsdragoon brought up a good question. Why do we have multiples of 4 for the ranks, and why do we have... And so the genuine answer I gave him was, like, it worked out that it's spending 120 points between, like, the skill division and adaptation left us with none left over every time we've done it. I don't know if that's just why we picked it.
yeah.
It's just what we settled on for now. It is a good question that we do need to litigate, and, like, I think that he's right. Like, if we could get it down to the actual, like, making the point cost as low as possible and then scaling the amount you start with would probably be a good way to avoid, like, unnecessary bloat in numbers.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. So yeah, there is nothing that costs 1, and like that's like basically what I was saying. You're right. we don't have a cost 1. Like 4's the lowest cost, I think. From there is so what is it? Yeah, 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, and not 20, 40 and 48 are the costs of everything. Cool. Yeah, I'm gonna do mine too, I guess.
Yeah. And I am going to also get started on this. For those of you watching the stream, I hope you enjoy my music.
Well, I'm like...
You know, that song goes... do.
Mine
Okay.
bring my so like another thing you'll see is like the initiative has like offensive, defensive, escape, and other. This is something we haven't talked a ton about, but we're going to be talking a lot about in the next coming weeks, which is combat is going to have simultaneous initiative. So like everyone on your side goes at once, and then the other side goes. You make a plan, and then you enact the plan. And this is because, like, you've played a game with a heist before, Nick. It has these elements of, like, table talk, right? Where it's everyone, like, sitting down being like, wait, everyone, what are we actually doing here? What's the plan? And that's what, like, we want to encourage in this game. That kind of heist-style play. So our idea is a simultaneous initiative. So you can, like, hold actions... or like hold on to action points to activate your counterattack response feats and things like that, or if the enemy's going before you and everyone's got this whole plan laid out and like you have a counterattack feat and you can block this attack from happening, you can do that, but you're going to upset the whole plan that everyone laid out. So it's throwing a complication into everyone's thing.
Wild card, baby. I think I got my approaches done. I think.
Yeah,
you got 100.
I always put too much into my approaches, and then I like have nothing left for skills. Let's see here.
Logic to logic to 4.
Ow. God damn it, Naja.
Get him, Naja, get him.
Dude, look at this. Look at how big she's gotten.
Oh,
big boy.
Sweetheart.
Right? She got so big.
Little baby.
Look at this. Look at this fucking noodle. Nothing has
Angel.
changed with this cat.
That is a name.
I was about to say, I've missed you yelling at that cat so much.
Dude, like, she loves... So this used to be my roommate's old room, And then because the older roommate moved out, and I might have to start working from home a little bit more, I took this as like an office, and I got a futon. So if her sister comes over, my brother comes over, or when you guys come down, we have like places for people to crash. And Naja has been obsessed with it to the point where she doesn't sleep in my room anymore.
Oh.
She just sleeps in here. So I'm invading in her sleep time.
That's fair. That's what I always say about Nick and my sleep time. He's invading it.
I sit in the corner and watch.
I wish you wouldn't.
Oh, don't worry, I'm not gonna disturb you.
Don't worry, kid. I'm not gonna disturb you.
I'm just gonna sit here reading my Frito-Lays.
What are you reading over there?
Is that God Emperor Dune? Still haven't finished it.
I'm gonna attack you in the night.
Dude, I got sucked back into the Timothy Zahn Star Warses, and I cannot and will not be deterred. I need to finish them for the podcast, or Rich will kill me.
Nick.
Got too many interests, man.
Yeah, I feel you.
Yeah.
All right, I'm done.
I am actually almost done.
Taylor has great music. I also have a favorite Hear Me Monsters. I got a favorite. My favorite Hear Me Monsters is a live recording of Taylor playing a song that's. I don't even think it's on any of your albums. Is
I
it?
don't think it is. No.
Yeah. I'm like the deepest of cuts. I'm the biggest B-sided rarity fan in the world. I like this song. You probably haven't heard of it. I definitely haven't.
I definitely have a favorite Hear Me Monsters song. I'm touched. What's your favorite Hear Me Monsters?
I do.
What's your Hear Me Monsters song? Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm trying to be better about like taking compliments when somebody actually gives me one. Because I usually
have a favorite.
Do you?
Yeah.
Seriously? What the fuck?
Yeah.
I mean, I do too. We all have favorites.
We listen to your shit, man.
I can't figure it out. Your names of the songs don't always sound like the lyrics. Yeah, well, point taken.
Still.
I'm sorry. I have to ask Nick. What's the song? Do you mind sharing?
Yeah, I'm pulling it up because I actually have it on my iPhone. Believe it or not.
So here's a neat thing about the character sheet. If you do have the character sheet, up, Nick finds that.
El Dragoon, that's On the Road by the Sea, and yeah, that's the intro. That's the intro to my very first album. Thank you. That really means a lot to me. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Everything about this is absurd.
Oh
That's a good
shit!
song.
One of my political ones.
Yeah.
I get all mad.
There is also this great intro that a beautiful man by the name of Taylor made for a podcast that's I'm still editing.
It's still in the works. I am sorry on the
first one.
I am sorry. I am sorry for the delay getting this to you.
No. I'm like 20 episodes of recording in.
Holy shit! Really?
Yeah, I'm like dropping it in June. I want to have like a catalog.
We're getting
So
it.
you're good.
Yeah, we're gonna have that ready.
So a neat thing you'll see about this though is on the skills, you can pick the approach that you're using for the skill, and this drop down right next to your die level, and it will auto generate the ranks that you're going to add to your die. So if I'm rolling an appraisal at a D4 with a logic score, I just hit logic and boom, bang bang boom.
What are you doing?
He's done so much work on these fucking sheets. El Dragoon, On the Road by the Sea is not political. The song that Nick is referring to, Everything About This is Absurd, is a very... You can't miss the politics in that one. It's the only thing that's there. But no, On the Road by the Sea is very much about like growing up and getting old and realizing that like your time is very much limited and grappling with that as you sort of age out of childhood and out of like the college years, which are basically like adult childhood, big childhood, as I call it. And yeah, so that's actually what that song is about. But no, the song you're referring to is not explicitly political. What was the
Corey
song?
or Taylor, can you guys make sure that I spent all of my? I'm pretty sure I did, but I just want to make sure that I'm good.
Yeah, I think that looks about right. Yeah. I mean, that actually seems like a lot. Let me do a little quick math here.
That's why I was vastly concerned.
Yeah.
While Corey does that
24,
math,
20 plus.
Els Dragoon, it's not on that album. I just realized. I'm a dummy. It's actually the intro for my first EP, which is titled, oh my god, what is Alive in My Basement. That's what it is. It's my first EP is what that was. It's Alive in My Basement. I liked the title and the concept so much that I took it and I put it onto what was going to be my first album when that was coming out. That's why they're named the same thing. You're looking for Alive in My Basement, On the Road by the Sea. But again, thank you so much. It's always very touching. I'm like playing with like my cable, like, oh, thank you. Thank you.
Very good, Taylor. Taylor is an incredibly talented human being, and I am lucky to get to utilize him for all of my things.
I'm lucky I get to bully him into taking notes for me.
Nick, you spent about 40 points too much, my man.
Sick. This is why I'm in sales.
Oh, yeah. This is why I don't operate a register anymore. It's because, like, oh, was I not supposed to give that guy change?
See, I don't have to run a register. I just have to talk to people about watches.
There you
Well, I
go.
made a $5,000 whoopsie at work the other day.
Been there, pal. I've been there.
Whoops.
Yeah. They don't let us writers anywhere near money. They're just like, just give us paper.
Things I get trusted with.
Ugh.
All right, Corey, I readjusted. I think I am now good.
Would you remove a D8 and what'd you do?
I removed a D8, a D6, 2 D6s actually.
Well, that actually probably.
Who is this?
Elstragon? He's a homie.
What? No.
Well, Nick, now, yeah, you removed 40 points. Yeah, you're good to go. Okay, so Nick, make sure up top your province is a what?
Oh shit.
Rope walker.
Yep.
Your history is a nautilist.
Yeah, I got it.
So I actually I got a name for my guy and a bit of a backstory, which I told you all.
Go on.
His name is Big Two.
Okay.
Yeah. He became unplugged and I think he wandered too far from the like central processing core of the tunneler group that he was a part of, and as the hive drilled on, he got separated and began wandering through the like lower mantle of Iba and like became very curious with the biological making of things as like he got further apart and ceased to be part of the hive mind. So I think like the hive mind's still like reaching out for him, and that's why I get those like vast knowledge memories. It's like the hive trying to find its worker bee. But since then, like he's gotten separated. He found that Awoken Hall and like spent time working there and living there and being trapped inside one of the machines for a while, and that's how he like stumbled to the surface. And I think he quickly fell in love with vault peddler crews because they're very, very really like these elements of moving families, which like his family was. His hive was a wandering hive that moved through the mantle drilling, and like he found home there and people. And so his name's Big too, and I love him. And he's very small, and he's a doctor, and his interest in biology is why he's a croaker.
Hell yeah. I love that. So I'll introduce you all to my guy. This is Simon, spelled Symonne. Simon. Simon was actually born into the Duner colonies just outside of Ishtas. As that bug colony sort of grew in strength and power, they became a little bit more of an authority figure in the caravans surrounding Ishtas. Simon comes from kind of a middle-class family, and eventually got a job working in government. Most stable job you can get, right? Stable work. Unfortunately, he very quickly got shifted around because of his abilities to being one of the eyes of Ishtas, which he fucking hated. Like, after seeing so many of these kids, like, basically just get conscripted into agrotech, he eventually left with sort of a dishonorable discharge. There are probably a lot of people in Ishtas that are none too happy to have him around. But taking his salary, what remained of it, he started very slowly building these sort of alliances with these various vault peddler crews that were rotating around. He manned the area, or, sorry, he manned the, what's the word? He manned the ranks of this crew for a little while, working actually as like this reckoner, but he was really fucking bad at it. And like eventually they started realizing that his expertise lied more in like strategic thought and actually like logistics. So eventually the leader of that caravan died. He took over in his place, and he's been running this caravan ever since.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, you guys will be very delighted to meet a descendant of two of my characters. May I introduce to you Bela Bratzi?
Of course.
Bela Bratzi is a morphite who decided to leave the nest, or the groove, as you will. They were then like adopted by the Church of the Iron Snake or Serpent. Did I say that right?
Word. Yeah, he's from Orod. Wow. Okay, cool.
And then they just naturally came into like being really good at fucking fighting the serpents. They keep to themselves, but obviously because of their background and their, how they were raised, they do have tendencies to, find like their clique, if you will. And
Yeah,
Vault
that's
Peddlers
tight.
are very much about that click.
All about it. All right, sick. So,
Hell yeah.
what? Just say hell yeah. I don't know if there are any Jenna Marbles fans, but like a constant thing in my house is like, could you write hell yeah on my eyebrows?
So this is going to take us to the... let's talk about our actual stats real quick. So I ended up with a 3 in clockwork, a 5 in ferocity, a 5 in holistics, and a 5 in logic.
All right.
A 1 in everything else. A 1 in nebulae, 1 in obfuscation, 1 in adaptation. On top of that, I have a 6 in deductive, a d6 in deductive rather, a d6 in hardiness, and a d8 in repair. So good at fixing things. I'm good at like helping people, but I'm not like I got a high ferocity but low brutality score. So, like, that being said, that leaves me with health nodes of 6, armor nodes of 8, and movement nodes of 6. So basically how this like how a hit works is damage is calculated off of your feet, like whatever the feat is. When I say feat, I'm sorry, I shouldn't, because that's just game design mechanic that I'm using in my head, which is everything is a feat. But like, so if you have a fucking like a plasma sword is going to do 8 damage, and that is unmodified unless you have like feats that add to it. So you roll to hit. If that hit is scored higher than the character's movement, then it is going to affect either the armor nodes or the health nodes.
Right.
If it is higher than the armor nodes, then it is going to affect health nodes. If it's lower than armor nodes, then you're going to do damage to armor. Basically,
What if it's the same?
I think if it's the same, it is defender always wins. So in that case, it would hit armor, right?
Yeah.
So basically, Nick, if you hit over somebody's movement, you can either do damage to their armor or their health. If you hit over their armor, you'll be doing damage directly to their health. If you don't, you'll be doing it to their armor. But damage isn't like calculated on a dice roll. It is whatever the flat damage of
It's like a
your
PBTA.
weapon.
It's like a PBTA thing. Yeah.
And then they just have a chance to resist it. Yeah, and that's all. So like it is a 2-roll thing. You roll to hit, they roll to resist.
So
Gotcha. Really quick, Corey, what is on your hand? Why do you have a glove?
His
on your
ninja
hand?
glove?
My ninja glove.
It's like a half Anakin or Luke Skywalker after.
It's for my tablet.
Yeah, it's for drawing.
I bite my pen too much too.
I don't think the glove has anything to do with that. I'm sorry.
So I'm going to tell you a little bit about Simon. So I've got a 3 in adaptation, 4 in holistics, 3 in logic, 1 in everything else. I've got a D8 in appraisal and parlay, and I've got a D6 in composure, deductive, and memory. Everything else is at a D4. I have 4 health nodes, 4 armor nodes, and 5 movement nodes. This guy is not a beefy boy. He's very evenly spread across the board, but yeah.
Ooh.
All right. And Nick, what are you looking at on yours?
Yeah, so for Bale, I just changed the last name, Bale, Idaho. They're really good with appraisal, so they're at a D8 for appraisal, a D4 for brutality, D4 for composure, a 6 for deductive. I think that only just makes sense for them. 4 for grace, 4 for hardness, 6 for impression, 4 for magnum, 6 for memory, 4 for parlez and repair, actually all the way through skullduggery and traversal. Those are all 4s.
You went very across the board with yours. Is this really just 120 points?
Yeah. I mathed it out. It is.
Wow.
Yeah.
How come you guys have so much more than me?
I don't know.
I may not have done my math right. I don't know. All right.
I think it is the case that if you invest like up the spire of a skill, it's very expensive.
Yeah.
So like to go to a D8, you have to spend 12 and then 16 points, right?
Yeah.
So like if you're building with any kind of depth, that is why.
Yeah, I guess that's true. You guys only have D8s in one each.
Yeah.
I've got it in actually couple. Okay. Yeah, fair enough.
You're much more. You are a much more specific character, right? Like, yeah.
All right. Cool. So we're actually not done. What we need to do now is we need to build our caravan. And that is actually the main reason why we're here tonight.
Yes.
All right, so let me walk us through this here. Nick, on on Vault Peddlers 1E, if you scroll down into the mechanics section, you will see Caravan creation. So we're starting with a caravan rating of 1. This basically means that, like, for the contracts that we take as a group, they're going to come with difficulty ratings that are represented in star ratings. Kind of think of it like a Yelp almost. Right now we're a 1-star caravan, right? So
we gotta change that.
We gotta change that, right? We gotta fix that shit. We have 28 XP that we can use, and we have 3 jobs. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to decide on our the intent for our respective attributes. So if you switch over to the caravan sheet, you're going to see that there are 4 different attributes. There's R&D, there's command, there is support, and there is intel. Now for these, they start all at a D4, and we're going to get to that here in just a minute. But the first thing we need to do is we need to decide, if you open the little list right below where it says like D4, where it has the die types, you're going to see a bunch of different narrative prompts. These are intents that these departments function as. So you can have a mystical R&D department. You can have a commanding, or excuse me, a threatening command. You can have a scheming support. You can have a diligent intel, whatever it is. We as a caravan need to agree on what these intents are going to be for the kind of caravan that we want to live in. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's start with R&D. From this list, what interests you in terms of R&D? These are the people making like our technology, any kind of new gear or equipment that we're going to have is going to come from our R&D department. For Nick and for Corey, what do you think you want our R&D department to look like?
I mean, I think it only makes sense for it to be a scientific R&D.
Okay, yeah, I think that makes sense. Corey, do you have an input there?
Sorry, I'm talking about critical sales dragoon. I like scientific. I think that actually fits with my character a lot.
Yeah.
Okay. I am actually going to make the case for scheming, in that we are a caravan in a world where all of us are competing with each other, and you don't get out of doing 1-star contracts by not trying to undercut other people. And I think scheming is the way to do that.
See, I'm going to disagree with you because I think intel should be scheming.
It's interesting.
I don't think Big Two's comfortable with either of those. I definitely would feel like I would argue that like Nick's kind of correct. Like intel would be very scheming if you were former Eyes of Ishtas, right?
That's a good point. All right, yeah. Do we have any objection to intel being scheming then?
No.
I'll do a scientific R&D if we can do a scheming intel.
I think it makes sense for both your character and my character. I think like Bale is someone that very much they don't play distance. They like to get up and close, and I think the only way you can get close in like a battle is if you know what you're going into.
All right. Corey, would Big Two be open to a scheming intel if is maybe there's something in command or support that you would prefer that we could like compromise on?
I'm sorry. Sorry, I gotta start talking mechanics in the chat. For command?
Well, for command or support, because I'm pretty intent on a scheming intel. And I know that Big Two's not really comfortable with that. So I'm curious if is there a compromise in command and support that we could make?
Yes. I would like merrymaking in either command or support.
All right, cool.
What is merrymaking?
It is the disposition of that attribute. So these dispositions come into play with morale. Your morale score in each downtime phase is generated by which jobs you engage with on the downtime phase, which all have a morale score. So in our case, we're going to have 3 jobs at a morale of 1 each. And we get to enact all these like little vignette scenes and giving us a score of 3 in morale, which we can then spread through these checkboxes. And what those checkboxes do is give up opportunities interacting with the world to roll these die to generate our caravan resource pool.
Yeah.
So if we have a command that is merrymaking, we're trying to take control of situations by becoming friendly with people and like making connections with like honest honestly helping people being excitable and like starting a party basically, and by doing those things in like the command side of things, we'll get a chance to say we have a D4 in command. Like the archivist will look at us and be like, okay, that was merrymaking in command, you have a check mark in one of those, roll a D4, and however many we get on that die, so we roll a 4, we will add 4d4 to our caravan resource pool.
And then during play, we can pull from that central pool to add to our rolls to try and basically roll higher and do better.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So I'm down with doing support for merrymaking, if that makes sense.
That makes sense to me.
So I think then we need to come up with a compromise that kind of fits everybody's idea for command. I think that like diligent is like a good compromise. Like I think Big Two could get behind that. I think that would definitely fit with where I'm at as far as like being kind of all business and like being about doing stuff, you know.
You should be doing this on the caravan test. My bad.
Oh, am I on the wrong one?
The one on the bottom, the tab on the bottom.
Oh shoot. Okay, one sec.
Yeah, that's all right. It's just this one needs to be preserved as the master.
Yeah, no, I got you. Okay, scientific.
So, Elstragoon, we'll talk about this in a little bit. So it might not be. I'm trying to decide what the threshold is, and it's either like. So what is it in Cyberpunk? If you no, in Pathfinder, I'm playing a game of Pathfinder, and it is like if you are 10 below whatever the die, like the value that you're trying to hit, that is a critical failure. And that's the same thing I'm trying to do here. I have to work with the math a little bit here because this is my basic idea for criticals. I still need to play around with it to find what the actual value would be. And now that I have like a ranking of like what is a easy roll and what is a hard roll, it's going to be a lot easier. But the idea is that like by taking the gamble with a 2d4 roll, you have a higher chance to crit, but a higher chance of critical failure as well. So I have to play around with the math on that one still. But that is the general concept.
Okay, so
yeah, exactly.
Moving into command, do we want to go with diligent? Is there maybe something else that we think works better here?
I think practical might be better.
Okay.
I
I wouldn't have an objection to practical.
Okay, cool. I think that like makes sense for everyone, like everyone's character. I think that everyone's like a pretty like no one's out of left field. It's not like we have a fucking bard in our group.
Okay.
Yeah, go on.
Well, I was going to say, so to surmise, we have a scientific R&D, practical command, merrymaking support, and a scheming intel. In other words, like the top brass is just kind of like, look, just whatever makes this thing work. Everybody in the caravan itself is partying the fuck up. Yeah. And meanwhile, like we're just trying to fuck over every other caravan group that we possibly can.
I think we work hard and we play hard.
We work hard and we play hard.
And so the general idea here, Nick, is that like by placing like every downtime phase, as soon as you generate that morale score, you're going to divide them up among these checkboxes, and those will be the opportunities you have to fill your caravan resource pool, which is this die pool at the center of the table that anyone can pull from throughout the adventure. So the idea is that like we are putting forth these narrative concepts for what our caravan is facing outwardly, and you have to play into them in order to generate the dice you need to like do a contract successfully. So if you want those extra die in the middle, well, you damn well better have a merrymaking support, or you damn well better be scheming as fuck. So like it is to encourage the group to play as the group that you set forward.
Yeah. Okay. So we've decided on our intents. Now what we're going to do is we're going to buy a polyhedral die level for each of these attributes. So right now there's a D4 with R&D, command, support, and intel. We need to decide how high we want to bring all of these to. Now we have 28 XP currently. Yeah. There is a table on the Caravan or Vault Peddlers 1E doc. But basically it's just D6 is 6, D8 is 8, and then D10 and D12 are twice as many as the number. So D10 is 20, D12 is 24. So let's start with some basics then. How high do we want to bring R&D? In other words, how many resources, what kind of resources do we want to generate out of R&D? Do we want to bring that to a D6, D8, D10, or D12?
I think...
Yeah, so like this is... we want to make it... Yeah, what do you think, Nick?
I like the idea of them being able to like put a lot of effort into research and development and like really like come up with some crazy shit and crazy tech that can really... Oh, hello, Yoda.
Oh, baby.
I miss that boy.
Yeah. Oh, Yoda, Taylor's dog. I thought you were just calling me Yoda, and I was like,
no. I didn't realize he was there. I've been too busy looking at my other monitor.
He says he misses you.
But I like the idea of R&D having a higher...
let's do a D8 in that.
Yeah. No, I'm down with that.
I don't want to go higher.
Well, here's the thing.
I don't even know if
we can't yet.
Well,
okay,
no,
cool.
we can. We can. We've got 28. We can do 24 points in R&D and then just do nothing else.
D4s for the rest. And hear us out. This isn't the end. We can actually we can juice this a little bit, and we'll get to that.
We can.
Let's just spend the point. Let's spend the points on our. I'm cool with putting a. Let's put a. What do we have? 28.
We have 28.
Let's put 20 point. Well, no, because we have to buy in steps, right?
We. Yes, we do.
Yeah, so we can't.
Oh, we can't then.
Yeah. But we can get there. Huh. So what we can do is do a D8 and let's do a D8. So it's 6 plus 8 is
14.
That's why you're the math man.
You should be in sales. Come on.
No.
So we have 14 more points. And if you want to save those, we can do this first. Because we can get there. Yeah, Nick. The thing is, with the caravan, just like how we played the caravan character creation, we picked feats for your characters, right? Well, we're going to pick feats for the caravan too, and these are represented as jobs. And jobs have an NPC associated with them, and NPCs get a randomly generated disposition. And we'll pick a name for them, and the jobs do different things. If you go to the jobs section, so how jobs work is you, on your downtime phase, you have a vignette, a personal scene with the person who runs that job, and at the end of that vignette, you get to restore whatever resources or juice up your caravan in whatever way the job dictates. So cool. Like, if we have the medic, we can restore health nodes. If we have the blacksmith, the most important thing in anything ever, it's, you know what it is, Elstrigan? It's an emote of a blacksmith saying hell yeah. And you can restore those whatever by the order of the jobs. But another thing you can do is you can take on quirks. Quirks have variable cost, and the cost is 1-to-1 with caravan experience. Quirks are GM-facing feats that are like runs of bad luck for the caravan. You can take these willingly, and they last however many sessions you bought, basically. So if you buy 4 points, you get 4 experience, and you get 4 sessions of this run of bad luck. And they're all organized by like mired by mechs. Mired by mechs means that anytime you would use the clockwork approach, do so with an additional D4 detracting die. So anytime you're trying to do something mechanical, you just can't get the hang of it for some reason. But you can use these quirks to juice your caravan with extra experience. Last night, I had somebody decide, they're like, fuck it, we would always take this quirk. Let's just do it to 10 and get an extra 10 experience points to really juice our caravan. And I was like, hell yeah. The idea is you can only have 3 quirks active at a time, though. So.
Okay. So that being said, I mean, where do we want to leave Point Buy at? Do we want to save these remaining 8, or what do we want to do?
Well, so we had we had 28, right? And we spent 14.
Yes, we have 14 left.
14 left.
So we could bring something else to a D8, or we could save it if we want to really beef up R&D.
I say we save it.
Yeah, I mean, we could take what is it? We could take a level 6 quirk or 2 level 3 quirks right now and juice it to 20 and bring R&D to a D10.
Sure. You guys want it? All right. Yeah. So let's take a look at our quirks then. Let's see here.
Quirks are bad. I love them.
Yeah, it's a penalty you take in exchange for additional XP.
Yeah, I mean, it is like very much in the realm of like games like Shadowrun and Quirks and like games that have like negative character traits that you can take for additional experience, which I always dug as a kid because I played a weird amount of GURPS.
Let's see. Okay.
Star Wars too.
So going with my character's background, it might make sense for the very last quirk, which is blackmailed. Your caravan has done something awful that would draw public ire if they knew. Recently, an unidentified party has contacted you about it, forcing you into a difficult job for no pay. From time to time, they can still call on you for work, which you cannot refuse.
I mean, as an archivist, I would love if anyone took this. It is like immediate like story hooks, right?
Yeah.
I'm cool with that. Let's do. You want to do 3 sessions of blackmail?
All right. Yeah.
I like it.
And Nick, why don't you pick another quirk? Yeah, I'm very proud of the like quirk side of the caravan. I think it's really cool. Like,
Yeah.
I think it plays into the theme of the game really well, which is just like running on bad, like running into hard times, right?
What do you guys think of No Job Worth Doing?
Good job of projecting professionalism. I like the word projecting professionalism because I think that for anybody on the exterior who doesn't see the absolutely wild parties that our support department throws, probably we do, right? It's like a scientific R&D, like a practical command, but like
Who's thrown big parties.
Yeah, but like it's definitely something where like the party planning committee is like kept from the public eye. It's like
someone put a lampshade on my light on my head.
So yeah, I'm down with that. Climate optional goal, make it a mandatory one. How many sessions of that do we want to do?
Let's do 3 because we only need 3 more to get to 20.
I mean, for the record, I'm actually cool with taking more, just because, like, the actual mechanic of the feat is literally just an optional goal becomes a required goal.
Yeah.
So, like,
Well, I mean, it's give or take, right? Because if we don't succeed on the
then we don't get any of the
don't get
payout.
the promissory, right? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm willing to do more. I'd bump that up to 5 if anybody.
Yeah.
If like we want to
I mean,
maximize.
if we're gonna do that, let's bump it up to 9 and bring something to a D6 and bring something else to a D6, right?
Yeah, fuck it.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Jesus Christ.
Love it.
No, so this is just yeah. So how many the point cost that it is how many play sessions that the Run of Bad Luck runs, basically, Elstragoon. So yeah, 9 sessions of having to and this one is give or take, because it's how quick are you going through contracts? Because if you're busting out contracts every session, as one shots, you're going to be doing a lot of these, and that's going to be rough and tumble.
Yeah, for sure. On the other hand, though, if you're doing this as a long form campaign, it's the whole campaign. You've just got additional shit you got to deal with.
Well, it's sessions, not contracts, right?
Is it? I think it's per contract. When pursuing,
I think we decided on session because contract would spread it out way too long.
When pursuing contracts, client may take one optional goal and make it a mandatory one. That's not a session thing.
I understand, but the actual length of how we decided to do it, we'll have to talk about this.
Yeah, we'll have to.
I think it has to be the same for we can't have variable goals last variable lengths of time for these, or else it will get confusing. And I think by session, six sessions is a lot of sessions at tabletop, right?
Yeah.
So
it's like a month and a half.
9 contracts is 2 years of gaming. I don't think we can.
We'll need to talk about it, but
yeah.
Corey, why don't you pick one out for us?
Oh, we're doing another?
Are we taking on 3?
Oh, I thought we were just going to take on 2.
Yeah,
we can
just crank them.
Okay, no, that's fine. We can do 2.
So that brings us to 23, which
cool. So R&D is brought to a 10.
Yeah.
And then we were going to bring something else to a D6.
Why don't you decide?
Why don't you decide?
I think my background would just want me to bring that intel up to a D6.
Yeah, I
For
mean,
sure.
I think that makes sense. You're like the face. You're the leader of the caravan, right?
Yeah.
I think that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. I mean, the scheming thing is, I think, more my character than anything else, just wanting to spy on people. So, yeah. Okay, cool. So that ends that portion. Now we need to pick jobs and NPCs. So players are going to pick 3 level 1 jobs. They select only the role performed, at which point the Archivist will develop an NPC stat block for these NPCs, which we will not be doing on stream, including disposition and motivation. What I will be doing is, Corey and Nick, go ahead and pick 3 jobs, and I'll play the role of the Archivist in this particular position and show you how this would work.
Yeah, I mean, by the way, Taylor, it's a D12, I think, for the dispositions, right? Or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, so you could just roll the disposition, too.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So
Got fancy new light up dice.
Hell yeah. Wait, are those the ones that go to the VTT?
No, I thought they were. I thought they were when she got these were a Christmas present, and I unwrapped these and I lost my fucking mind because I thought these were those fancy Bluetooth VTT dice that are
so bad.
that are $200 for a full set or whatever. And
I'm such an asshole that I didn't go on the Kickstarter for that. It's so cool.
Anyways, yeah, tell me what jobs you guys want.
Sure.
I'm looking through the job sheet right now. So, Corey, if you have anything.
Sheet, baby. Well, I'm going to pick. I know which one I'm going to pick.
Do you? Because it seems like you're stalling.
No, I'm actually not. I'm going to pick what I have to pick. I bet everyone can guess what I'm going to pick.
Everyone meaning me and Elstragoon.
That's right, baby. It's the Blacksmith.
Aw, yeah.
Your blacksmith works a simple forge and keeps a rudimentary shop. There isn't much as far as fuss and fancy here, but what they do well. And what they mostly do, besides fixing the damned axle again, is keeping the advance team armored enough to see the next day. On the completion of a blacksmith vignette, the Vault Peddler party may restore 1d4 plus caravan rank armor nodes. So this goes up with like your caravan rank, which is going to depreciate and appreciate throughout play.
And you will be very happy to know that your blacksmith, Raoul, freshly come in from the city of Vigil, is witty.
What race is he?
Raoul.
Why does it matter?
Yeah, what the fuck does it mean to you? No, he's
What species is he?
He's Polyutar. He's a trash
Okay.
man. Witty trash man.
Aren't we all?
You look like Danny DeVito.
I'm the trash man.
That's why I'm here. So there's one thing you will notice about the jobs. They all have prerequisites. You're only looking at rank 1 jobs. And those will have prerequisites of usually none. Some of them do have prerequisites of having a certain word set in a certain attribute. But the cool thing here is that certain jobs can evolve. So like you can buy higher ranked jobs and you just buy them, or you can evolve your blacksmith into a machinist. And you need to have what is it for the machinist, Taylor? You aren't looking right at it.
No.
I asked you. So you need to have already had your blacksmith evolve to a tinkerer, and you need the mech carriage job as well. And then you can have a machinist.
All right. So Nick, what job
Yes.
do you want to add to our little caravan?
Chemist.
It was a chemist.
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 That makes a lot of sense.
Chemist.
Yeah, love that. All right.
Yeah.
And
So what does the chemist do as just mechanically?
I can read the description if you'd so
Maybe with
choose.
a baby?
All right. A chemist takes the time to distill the properties inherent in the world of Eva and ruthlessly exploit them through scientific means. My cat literally just knocked over a die as that happened. Thank you, Nadja. The chemists of Eva are born of artillerists?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Of the past, unfortunately for your crew, not much has changed in their approach to the wider world. The caravan that has enacted this vignette are each given an explosive with the following feat. Rudimentary explosive. This feat allows 10 damage or can destroy/disturb material at the archivist's discretion. Any creature within the surrounding hexes will take 10 damage as well. It activates on released or can be thrown and rigged to explode with a DTV 15 check. The items disappears upon use, and if used in combat turn will cost 3 action nodes. Should this not be used by the next downtime phase, it disappears.
all right. And I'd like to introduce you.
A bomb.
And I'd like to introduce you all to your chemist. She is a builder who is basically from, as best you can tell, she is like from the fucking wilds.
Yeah.
Most of the chemistry that she has done usually deals in like packing fertilizer, hence the explosives, and
She's a
lot
terrorist.
of yeah, she's basically a terrorist, and she is a very merry terrorist.
Hell yeah.
She's very upbeat, very positive,
I love this.
She's my best friend.
and her name is Helga.
Helga and Big Two hang out.
I like
And-
to think they hang out. Everyone hangs out.
I am going to pick.
Osmosis Jones.
it's me, Osmosis Jones, the whole time.
Fence is not a level 1, is it?
I don't believe so. No, you have to
Okay,
take the merchant, or what's it called? Vendor. Vendor is the level 1 of that.
Vendor's a level 1. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's what I'm going to go with. I'm going to do a level 1 vendor. Give me a minute. Let me pull this up.
So-
Okay, you've plundered the depths. You've made it in and out and through dangerous and deadly vestiges of the past, only losing a few limbs in the process, and through it all, you've come out with some pretty noteworthy relics. So now what? Sell it to the next willing huckster who breezes through camp? There's no more sure way to be had. That's why any caravan with an eye on the Golden Road has their own verifiable merchant. After enacting the merchant vignette, you receive a 10% discount or a 10% bonus picked at the completion of the vignette, rounded down for the merchant's purse, of course. To petty coin for the purchasing or sale of all things until the next downtime phase.
So basically, you're just gonna pick. Do you want a sale, or do you want a discount, or do you want extra cash?
Right.
So yeah, I mean, like, notably for the jobs, like, you can get a lot more jobs all at once. But you can only enact 3 per downtime phase. So you have to kind of decide mechanically which one's the most important. Did you get really fucked up on the last caravan? You probably need to enact your medic if you have one. Did your armor get destroyed? Well, blacksmith is the way to go.
Corey.
Yes.
I rolled scheming for the vendor. Can you tell me about my scheming vendor, please?
Okay, your scheming vendor is obviously an error shag.
Love it.
Control Z. And your scheming vendor mysteriously has the same metallic coloration that our fearless leader does. They breezed into town, into camp not that long ago, and they really got his ear for something. But anyways, they'll act as our vendor.
Who could be blackmailing us? Who could it be?
The world may never know.
The world will never solve this.
Well, that brings me to another interesting conversation. One thing that this, like, I think that, like, having a, like, base building involved with this game, and specifically, like, quirks and stuff, like, it lends itself to plotting story hooks for the caravan really well.
Yeah.
And, like, this is one thing that I've talked about a little bit, that, like, one thing me and Taylor strive to do here, one thing that I find particularly interesting in tabletop games is when tabletop games, like, try to define the play space more concretely than just, like, you are an adventuring, you can be an adventuring party, or, like, this is the issue, my issue with D&D and D&D clones is that, like, it's you can always do it. They try to wear so many hats, there's no pointed and direct behavior. Now, what D&D does, it does very well, right? Like, if you want to play, like, a power fantasy, like, D&D is the way to go. But, like, I like games that try to, like, corral themselves into, like, niches. And I guess, like, this is our way of doing that, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have gotten almost all the way to the end. Oh boy. Hello? Oh no! So I don't know what's going on. I've lost everyone. Hopefully they will be back. Oh dear God, I'm by myself on the stream. This is a nightmare. This is a nightmare. Help. Somebody help. Shit. Where are they? Guys? Fuck. Oh man, I really hope that I don't have to reload. Oh, we are so close to the end of this thing. I'm going to be so disappointed if it ends like this. Okay. Well, so tell you what, I'm going to just try and let my computer do its thing. While it does that, I am going to have to just try and finish this thing out myself. So we've picked jobs and we've picked NPCs. What we need to do now is we need to pick community goals. So normally the way that this would work is the 3 of us would sit down and we would actually pick an assigned community goal. Now, these goals can range through a couple of different things. We have options here for... Oh, for God's sake, why is it not a drop down? Corey, why is it not a drop down? Oh, no. Oh, God. Shit. Hang on. It's got to be here somewhere. Okay, wait.
This is generally the game. Hey, there he is.
Oh, dear sweet God. I was so
And
scared.
to be fair, Alice Dragon, I was sitting in the chat waiting for anyone to.
I was so scared. Why did you leave me?
We thought you left us.
Nick,
Yes.
why don't you give us a concrete community goal? It's got to be something like concrete. It's got to be something that we could do in a couple sessions, like 3 sessions, 5 sessions tops. And it's got to have like concrete effect. It can't be something like we want to get more money, because like
So
that's
would, like-
something we're gonna.
Would raising our quote unquote level or Yelp review, would that be considered concrete, or would it be like, I want us to be able to have 4 jobs?
That's interesting. I haven't thought about like playing into the actual mechanics. I think like it would be. I think the idea was to move away from like the mechanical architecture of the game and talk about like narratively how we want to improve our caravan.
So, like, an example that we had in earlier editions that I knew was on that drop-down menu that, Corey, why can't I activate that as a drop-down menu
I
anymore?
deleted it
Why?
because we can write in whatever we want.
I guess. So the thing that was on that list that like I loved was like build a mobile bar, right? Which is just like, it's a totally narrative thing that like improves morale. So something to that effect.
Got it.
Yeah.
Money laundering club. I want to build us a money laundering club.
And like narratively, how, like within the confines of the group, or do you want to like set up a money laundering ring in a city or settlement and use that to like?
So I'm thinking more along the lines of like, if they're gonna take pretty much any job to kind of like get shit done, some of that money's gonna be dirty. So like, why not have a place where they can kick back and relax and it's totally on the books?
Sure. I think we should try to set it. I mean, like this is. I think write that in for sure. What I'm saying, like in character, I think we should try to set that up in like a settlement.
Oh, yeah,
some
100%.
distance from us. Yeah. Yeah. I'm totally
100%.
into that.
Like think of it like a crazy horse from The Sopranos,
Yeah.
or like the Bada Bing Club.
So Taylor, as an archivist, and to the end of this stream, what would be the XP value of that?
Well, so thinking about this from an overworld perspective, you're coming up with a money laundering front in a society that is highly, highly, highly driven by money. It would be a very big operation, and you would need to have a lot of trusted people in charge of monitoring that operation. Furthermore, if it's very effective, it would probably be a good way for you to generate income yourself, because that service could be then like meted out to other groups that might want the same service performed for them. I would argue that's like a 9 or a 10. Like that's very big overworld stuff, because like it sets up whole new things. So yeah, 9 or 10.
10 on there, Bear.
Yeah.
You got it, Pork Chop.
On that drop down, yep. And there we go. That's our caravan.
Cool. And so, yeah, the way that this would basically work then is when play starts, we would have these little like vignettes. That'd probably be one of the first things that we would do. We would roll to determine like how many nodes we would get in support or intel, command, whatever. Roll for our caravan dice pool, and then we'd probably just begin play as normal.
So you generate the caravan dice pool as you play. You just have those as opportunities to generate them, right?
Oh, correct. Right.
Yeah. So as soon as downtime is ended, then you start gaming that.
All right. And then I guess we're going to have to go into that more on our next play test. But for now, Nick, you were walking into this totally blind. So I have a couple of questions that I want to ask you just about the system in general.
Sure.
Did this do you think make general sense? Like were there lots of points or any points where you felt like the mechanics for this just don't add up? I don't understand why I'm doing what I'm doing. I don't understand what the purpose of something is, or did it all kind of flow?
The only thing that I was like a little confused on
Yeah.
was the approaches and the skills sharing spending. Just for, the way that I see things along those lines, I would say that approaches is more, I would almost limit what you can and cannot spend on approaches. I would think of it like almost through like the ranks, but you can only put, if you choose 10 for one or like 6 for one, you can't choose 6 for another from the start. Like, you can obviously add stuff into it after the fact. That's kind of where I was getting hung up on with the spending points for approaches and skills.
Gotcha.
Other than that, everything seemed pretty straightforward.
Cool.
But that's just me, and how I think of, like, because I think of approaches as like your overarching skills, like your naturally born abilities, like a nat born ability, whereas skills, like, you can
something you
learn.
develop.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was just the only thing that I kind of got hung up on.
So just to make sure I understand you correctly, so the idea is basically that attributes inherently shouldn't be even, because people like, when it comes to like natural born abilities, people don't have even abilities. Like, if I have a 6 in something, I'm not going to have it in something else.
Exactly. Like, think of it this way. Like, if you're an artist, you could be really fucking good in like oil painting, but you're not necessarily good in sketching or charcoal.
Right. Okay.
That being said, this was a long session.
This was, man.
Yeah. let's end the stream here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank
and Taylor,
you.
I can answer anything you need off camera. That's
That's good. Okay, well, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. El Dragoon, a pleasure as always. Nick, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. It's been so good seeing you again.
It's been great seeing you guys.
My God.
I missed you both dearly.
Before we go, are there any projects that you want to plug? We obviously have your up at the top here. You can find Nick at True Einstein. But are there any projects you want to let us know about before we go?
Field Guide to the Mortally Unknown. It's a podcast I've been Corey and I started when I first moved to Philly, and I've been doing a lot of research on like paranormal stuff. I'm hopefully going to be dropping the first 10 episodes in the next couple weeks, and then taking more of a hiatus, and continuously just working on research and things like that. You can find it at on Instagram. Just type in Field Guide to the Mortally Unknown, and it should pop right up.
Hell yeah. Well, check out Field Guide to the Mortally Unknown, and we will see you next week. Thank you all so much, and we hope you stay safe. See you later.